Good. Thank you so much for joining us. As always, it is a pleasure, and we love having your expertise. As everyone can see with Arghadip's title for this Q&A, he is a master of many modules, and he is also an instructor with micromanagement. In fact, he has 16 courses. So I think you may take the cake
if
for
you manage
courses,
a team,
but
you have to try Monday.com.
Monday.com
is a platform to track.
Wonderful. You're a great person in the SAP community, so we are excited to have you here today. So Arghadip will walk through his background, answer any questions that you all may have about the modules that he's an expert in, and this is meant to be interactive. So please ask questions. Throughout the presentation, we will have a question section at the end, but if there's anything in specifics that sparks as you're watching Arghadip's slides, please go ahead and ask your question, and we can do that as we go along. So today's Q&A will be about an hour long, and we will have you all muted just because there are several of you. We don't want to hear all the background noise, so we will ask you to write in your questions via the chat feature. And again, you can wait till the end, or if you have something that pops up, please go ahead and type that in, and I will get that relayed over to Arghadip. So go ahead, Arghadip, take it away. Thank you again for joining us.
Thank you. Okay, so good afternoon, good evening, good night, good morning, wherever you are from. Okay, so thanks for joining this webinar with me. And well, this is a chat session with me. Well, truly speaking, I'm not yet an SAP expert. I'm still learning every day, and that the course should be. So we should be learning every day. And the good thing about micromanagement is when I try to learn, I try to share also, and that helps me a lot, because lots of times we are at the end of the day, we are human beings and we are getting older and we are forgetting things. So this is a platform where I share my stuff so that I don't forget someday. As sometimes, I can see stuff that I forget, and I made a video one day, and that helps me a lot. Okay, so let's start it. So telling something about myself, I come from India. I'm from Calcutta, born and brought up there, and went through different. I was raised in a Catholic school and went to a Muslim college, and I have a lot of background of different cultures, different religion, and all those things. So one thing that is very similar is the knowledge of SAP. Probably everyone acquires it, and that's the bread and butter for us. So I'm a SAP ABAP Workflow VIM consultant. So that's a lot of things. That's some of the stuff that I do. I love to learn new stuff. I have been working with SAP for the last 15 years. I started my career with IBM as a fresher, and then I slowly moved into other consulting jobs. I traveled in Europe, I traveled in South America, and I traveled a lot in US. Okay, and eventually I thought, okay, let's get settled in US. Okay, I love to share knowledge, and I think knowledge should be always shared. Otherwise, if knowledge was not shared, we will not be speaking any language, right? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, someone shared the thing, so that's why we are speaking the language. So knowledge should be shared, and I think micromanagement really helps in knowledge sharing and training, and they provide you the avenue of the real training, means the real life stuff that you have to do in an SAP project. It may not be so much theoretical, but it's the practical stuff that really matters. So that's about me. Next, this is the photo of mine from 2008 when I was in Switzerland. So I have changed a lot, probably. So 16 years experience counting, and probably I'll add another 15 or 20 as I go. And I have worked with different clients. Every client is a wonderful place. Every client is a wonderful place for knowledge gathering, for making friends, for different cultures and all those things. So I've worked with big clients like Nestle, PMI, Philip Morris, PepsiCo, ABC, Abotlab, and when I used to be in IBM, I had the urge of giving training to the ELTP. We used to call ELTP the freshers, and there was a thing that we used to submit ICM. It's like a paper, like a patent paper within IBM. So I submitted a bunch. That was a record. And also I tried to share my knowledge in the SAP Community Network. I was the top contributor with SAP Developer Network, and then I had other priorities. So I have some points, like I want to prove some points that I will get so many community means Hall of Fame, and after that I'll just leave and do something else. So I have some goals that I want to go through. So this is about me. So related with my background overview, I worked with IBM for 8 years as a SAP Workflow consultant. So workflow was a very niche skill, and it was really, really different. And through workflow, you can do a lot of stuff. So that's my expertise, though I work with other stuff, but workflow is still my favorite thing that I love to do. I worked in Europe, South America, and North America. I have worked with other clients in Asia also, but I prefer to work with them. So different locations have different work ethics and all those things. So it's fun to be around. SAP Workflow VIM Consultant with the mantra of empathy for the customer and believe there is always a better solution. So lots of times we always say best practice and all those things. So best practice is all things related with perspective. If your customer has a process that doesn't fit with the practices, that doesn't mean that you are not following the best practices. It depends. And there is always a better solution. And truly speaking, nowadays, SAP has realized it, and that's why you have more customer-centric solutions like Fiori and others, where they are listening to the customer rather than we used to give you just a blue screen where you have to click around. But now you have to think about, when you are building a solution, how much value you are adding to the users. I remember when I joined my current company, NRG, I worked with a business person, and she said that the number of clicks is the number of chances of making mistakes. They used to give you so if you give me a solution with less clicks, the chances of making mistakes is less. So then it really put into myself. And if you think the world is going there, so you have less clicks, less problems, okay? And SAP should be, one day, it should be like playing games. Like if you are playing a game in iPhone, you don't take a training to play games. It should be intuitive. And that's the way the world it should be. It needs to be very user-friendly. So I specialize mostly in SAP ABAP, Workflow, Fiori, VIM. And I like to know lots of things. And there is lots of times, you submit some content and people say, oh, this is outdated. Nothing is outdated. It depends upon how you take it. It means SAP is one software or ERP solution where you can have, for a particular problem, you can have at least 10 to 20 different type of solutions. So there is no perfect solution. So you are always looking for a better solution, okay? So I have presented at Sapphire for the last 5 years. So I'm the top, till now, the top 15 followed person in SAP in the world in LinkedIn. So I like to share knowledge, and my heart goes to all the freshers, because I have been a fresher one day. And it's very hard for a person who is coming out of college in this economy to get a job. So I try to share my limited knowledge, and it helps. And Michael management helps out a lot. Lots of times, there are cases where people say, everything should be free. Well, there should be, at some point of time, you need to pay something because you have been through college, you have been through university, you had to pay it, right? So micromanagement, lots of time people think that if you're spending 100,000, if you're earning $100,000, I expect you should be fine in paying 1% of your salary for the whole year on training, because that helps you further. Imagine how much money you have spent in the university. So the more you train yourself, the more you learn, and the more you can survive. Let's be honest, you have to survive, and in order to survive further, or you want to get the expertise, you have to learn, get the knowledge more. And I think micromanagement is a perfect place. I think the best place for SAP knowledge, because it's not theoretical, it's all practical. That's what you do in the system. That's what you get the questions in order to clear an interview. Yeah, it will not give you a certificate, it gives a certification, but these are questions that an interviewer will ask. So this is very important. So why SAP ABAP VIM Workflow? So I come from an engineering background, so I have the programming skill, but I love workflow because truly speaking, I like automation. I'm a lazy person, and in order to be lazy, you need to be also a little bit thinking about, we should be thinking of automating stuff. So I have a mantra: if I have to do something more than twice, some job that I have to do more than twice, I will spend time to automate it. That's my thing. And if it's a job that I don't enjoy, I will do it the next time. It means right away that I need to find a better way to automate it. Okay. So, and most of the time, if you really think, and sometimes you may spend more time in automation, but in the long run, like if you have to do the same job for 3-4 times, it will pay off because you're doing now automation, and there will be automation, and there is Google, there is micromanagement, there's LinkedIn, there's SCN, and someone has done something. And if you can Google it, and if you don't find the way, then you are probably doing something like an innovation that someone hasn't done yet, and now you're doing something, not an Albert Einstein, but at least you are trying to do something, explore some unexplored world. So that's something. I believe in SAP, you can learn at least one new thing every day. There is always something new that you're learning. So I remember I worked with one of my friends, Tomas Prasco. He's also instructor here, and so he and me, we used to say, we love chaos. I love chaos. I love to work in a place where there is chaos because there is more learning. If you go and settle in a place where there is everything is stable, that's not my place. So it's like, going back to the school days, there was a poem by Ulysses. I think, I don't remember the poet, but he said he doesn't want to stay in the house because he wants to explore more or conquer more world, or he wants to have adventure. So for me, adventure is SAP. Learn new stuff, help others, and there's always a better solution. And sometimes, you post something, and sometimes it helps a lot, because when you are sharing your knowledge, lots of knowledge is hidden in people's mind, and then they try to share, you can do this that way also. And then, you are learning, others are learning, and it's a wonderful thing to do. So how can learning SAP help me? Okay. Well, truly speaking, it's the bread and butter of my family, and, a lot of families, right? Approximately 85% of the world's large corporation and government uses SAP. Okay. So very few people really call now SAP. Everyone calls SAP, even if it's a planned thing which comes where it's really SAP, right? Customers have new requirements every hour, and in order to fulfill them, you need to enhance your skill. So you should be open for new changes. Customers are always in need, and sometimes they tend to put the level higher. That you can fix it. see what he can fix it. Okay. Almost all job requirements require SAP skill. Even if you are joining as a, something like a bookkeeper or something, most of them uses SAP at some point of time. SAP is just like mathematics or driving a car. The more you practice, the more you get. So there is no one can share, no one can take the knowledge away from you. Yeah, sometimes knowledge may not be directly proportional to the amount of salary you draw, but at some point of time you can materialize it to money. But SAP, the more time you spend in SAP, the more you will learn, and you can do lots of tricks. Small tricks that is there in SAP, which no one knows. You can find it and figure it out. Okay, so that's very important about SAP. It's a do-it-yourself system.
And Arghadip, we actually have 2 questions already coming in from our live stream on Facebook, and they're related to. It seems like both of these viewers are job seekers in the SAP field. So the first Facebook question is, they're asking if SAP is too complex to learn from scratch, and that they keep seeing jobs asking for SAP experience, but they are asking, how do I know what SAP experience that might be?
So here is the thing. SAP has so many modules. Okay, so there's SAP is an ocean. So you have to pick up one module, whether you want to be first you need to understand, you want to be a functional or you want to be a technical. If you want to be functional, then you have to pick up a module. There are lots of times I get questions. I need to learn S4HANA. Well, S4HANA you can learn, but you have to learn a particular module. If you're an ABAP or if you're a technical person, then it's different. So again, this is something that is very difficult, and I think the culture needs to change a little, and it has been there forever. There is no real opportunities for freshers. Everyone wants an experience and all these things. So if someone is saying you need to have SAP experience, they need to tell you which module. So you have to pick up one of your module and start working on it. You cannot be beating around the bush and cannot be a master of none. So you have to pick up a module. If you are into like MBA, finance or something, probably FICO is a module or something. So you have to pick up a module and start working on it.
That's great advice. And the second question kind of builds on that. They're asking if certain modules or certain areas will bring in more money if you're working with SAP.
See, I get this question a lot also. So where they ask, oh, this module is hard, this module is cold, or whatever it is. Truly speaking, it depends upon you, how you want to do it. If you don't have passion to work on that, I think even if you're working, so if currently I'm always passionate to do programming and all those things. If I get to work in finance, well, probably I will not be passionate to be in the top 20 or top 50. So it may not have. SAP, every modules are in demand. I would say if you're a functional, you should be concentrated on the normal modules like MM, FICO, SD, HR, all these things. And truly speaking, all these modules you can learn from your dad and mom. It's pretty easy. It's like closing a book in finance is you can ask your dad and mom how they close the book on their family, how they can run their salary and pay off all the dues. That's SAP. SAP is real life. There's no rocket science behind it. Once you understand that, after that it's transaction code game, and it's pretty easy. So debit and credit, you get your salary is $1,000 and you pay off your expenditure is $1,200. You have to get $200 somewhere to pay off the dues. So it's no rocket science. It's real life, about SAP.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have this is great. It's stirring up a lot of questions from attendees. So we have an attendee named Anita, and she's asking, do you personally see any benefit to becoming an SAP certified consultant?
Truly speaking, on the SAP certification, truly speaking, I'm not SAP certified. No, now that doesn't mean that you need to be certified. I think certification helps at some point when you are a fresher, or or you're an experienced. But truly speaking, when I take interviews, and I have done a lot of interviews, certification really doesn't matter. It doesn't tell you really know SAP. At the end of the day, what matters is what is taught in the system. Yeah, I have friends who have said, they have certified person, they come to the work, they don't know nothing about the system. So we don't need certification. Probably helps you in the long run, probably for freshers, that they know something. But most of the certification, with all due respect, it's more theoretical than really technical, because they don't tell you what you have to do in the system and all those things that you are going to do in your everyday life.
Yeah, that's great insight. Thank you. So for now, those were the three questions we had.
Okay. So benefits of being an SAP consultant. Well, it's exciting. Technology, changes faster and faster every moment, because it's exciting not just because of the technology, because of the customers you work with. I used to work with customers like Nestle, where you have so many products, so many hidden truths we used to get. Like I never knew when I went to Brazil. I used to know Nestle is all about Nescafe and chocolate and noodles and all those things. I never knew they had a partnership with L'Oreal where you can get perfumes and all those things. So all those things are there. And then you have different countries, different traditions, different holidays and all those things. So with SAP comes with different customers. Then I work with Philip Morris, where it's a tobacco making company. They make cigarettes, and they have crazy recipes of making cigarettes. Why the people are smoking cigarettes so much? Because they put funny stuff into the cigarette that makes the cigarette taste wonderful, and those are the fun stuff and all those things that is. And then I used to work with companies where they make battery, and I remember I used to work in one company, Johnson Control. And I said, they said, I used to make all the car batteries. I said, the car battery you get in Costco, in Sam's. I said, everything is made here. The label is put there. That's it. Every battery is great. Okay. So those are the fun stuff you come to know, and there are, and you make people, and you come to know about different other technologies, like Oracle, Salesforce, because SAP is not standing alone. No one is standing alone. They have to integrate. Integration is very important. So you come to know about the good things about their technology, and probably you want to implement into SAP also, So that way, you are on a complete competition with another person, healthy competition, not fighting around, but healthy competition. Well, also you come to go with global travel. Well, the pandemic, 1 year we lost, but still the travel will be there. And also, if you think, it also taught us that there is a way to do the work, that working from home is not really bad. So that helped us. And everything is a new learning. It gets you paid, and usually all expenses are covered. The salary is quite good compared to other fields. And sometimes we after you go to a level, most of the time it's you have to do, like, if I'm a coder or if I'm a configuration guy, and I have been working 5-10 years, most of the time after that it's copy paste and edit. You are not bringing anything from scratch or something. So it's not so much time effective, and you can learn a lot. And the greatest thing also I love is to bring in fresh graduates, because they have crazy ideas. They have ideas that can really change the world. So all the new generation is really welcome to learn SAP, because there's going to be a big vacuum of SAP consultants at some point of time. So you have to take up and help the SAP thing go on, because it's not going to go away, at least for 10-15 years. So vibrant SAP community, opportunity to know a lot of people and different countries and know their different ways of life. So that's the thing. If you like to explore people, make friends and all those things, SAP is the place where you can go. You come to know about different countries, the different cultures, have different people. I love food, and most SAP customers give great food here. That's one of the reasons we are living, right? We are eating. So different customers, you have different food, and my favorite is the fun of the graveyard shift. So you might be thinking, what is a graveyard shift? Okay, so if you are working in a global company, when we go live, that's like there's a hypercare period. Go live means we have worked for this project for a long time, and that day everything is moving to production. And so for like 2 months, you have this graveyard shift where you have to do hypercare. So graveyard shift means 24-hour service. So it's not like it's done offshore. It needs to be on site. So you get a big hall based on the different clients. And that one thing is common is that everyone is awake in the night. I mean, someone is fixing issues and all those things. And there's food and everything. Some places used to provide massages. I still remember we used to stand in the line to get massages, and it's fun. And then you come to know lots of people, and it's really good because you meet, and there's lots of fun. That there's issues going around. The most important thing, everything is getting fixed, and it's really nice. So lots of people say, "Oh, my night shift is bad." I love the graveyard shift with friends. We used to say, "Oh, when we don't have stuff, we'll watch movies." So we used to watch movies in a room. It's fun. So those are the fun things you can have, and you can get a lot of knowledge also through. You can see meltdown, people crying, "Oh, I cannot do it." Finally it worked, and you can see the anxiety in people's eyes, and they say, we need to make sure the truck is stopped because the smart form is not printing the proper way. So, the truck is stopped and they cannot do the delivery and all those things. So it's fun. So, a lot of things, and lots of times, if you haven't done the real work, you will do that work in the next 2 months, fixing stuff. So it's fun.
And we have one more question coming in, Arghadip, from Facebook, and it's a very timely question. Are you seeing more or less opportunity in SAP since COVID started?
I think SAP, most of if you think lots of companies had gone through bankruptcy and all those things due to this pandemic, which is sad, but things will come up. And with all due respect with SAP, I remember when I used to work with IBM, sometimes he used to say, what if Oracle comes and takes this project, Then I remember the manager, he used to say, SAP will make money either way. I speak, how will make money? I speak, see, at the end of the day, if they want to move to another technology, they have to take all the data out, extract the data, probably create an interface and all those things. So we will be charging for that because it's not going to happen overnight. It's not a copy paste of the things. So there is work there also. And with all due respect, I never thought that is work in bankruptcy. So I had an opportunity working for a company where they had bankruptcy module. And I implemented the bankruptcy module. And truly speaking, there is work there also. So if someone is saying there's not enough work after the COVID situation with SAP, there will be. And some of the customers will come back and someone will buy these companies and they will implement SAP. And 85% of the companies uses SAP. And with S4HANA, we have seen like 30 to 40% of the companies that are moving to S4HANA are from non-SAP background till now. So you can see the number of increase. So there is a huge amount of companies that are still in ECC that are moving to S4HANA, that will move to S4HANA. So that's your lifetime, probably that probably increased our SAP thing, because at some point it was coming saturated where everything was being implemented. But now with S4HANA, you can add at least 10 to 15 years life in SAP, so it's there, it should be there. And truly speaking, it's type of monopoly business. You don't have nothing around to really fight against SAP ERP.
Oh, that's great insight. Thank you. So it looks like there's no more questions at this point, but I'll keep letting you know. Oh, actually,
okay.
You know what? Let's see. Leslie just said that she didn't know SAP was that exciting.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun learning new stuff, and there's always fun stuff I remember when I was working in Brazil, there was a case where suddenly a Venezuelan president said, we are going to change the currency. So I said, so then we were saying we have a lot of work. And then I didn't understand what's the work. They freaking change the currency in everything. We have to bring up new module in SAP, change everything, change data. So it was fun. Okay, then we came to know how much currency is important, because you have exchange rate coming in, cashing in, and everything. The fun part is, if there is a change in the tax law, SAP is going to change it right away. They're changing it. So they are going through I don't know how many countries there are, probably 190 countries SAP works with. They are going through all their government rules and all those things. And SAP is changing themselves regularly, daily, hourly, you can think. So it's a monster. So it's really commendable how they work, to keep up with all these changes. Okay. So
yeah.
So
and Leslie. Yeah. Oh, sorry, Arghadip. Leslie said one more thing, which I think is a great point. She said there will also be a lot of work with Brexit for taxes in the SAP systems.
Yeah, with Brexit, we had a lot of work last year with GDPR. If you know, in Europe, they started with GDPR, where you have to mask things and all those things. And there are different laws where I know there is a new law that I think US is going to put. It's called the CAPTCHA law, where you need to hide the banking data of the vendor even in the invoices. So it's a lot of work, lot of things you have to change. Different laws, different measures. Like in India, we had the rule of VAT and all those things. It's crazy how different countries have different rules. And I know with COVID, SAP had created like 300 different OSS nodes, because with COVID, if you think, all those payments were going out of SAP. Okay, so those things had to be changed, because now they can take leave without leave with pay. So they had to bring new processes in the SAP system just to make sure it works. So those things are always changing, and every day they're changing. So there's new law, there's new things, and it's commendable how they change it.
Very true.
Yeah. So if you're new, start your own SAP journey. So MNC is I think the best place to start with for learning SAP, the real stuff. Not you will, whatever you're learning in MMC, you are going to put it on your first day of your SAP journey, because everything is system based. It's not theoretical. It's not that, it tells me something, but in the system it happens something. That's the real thing you want. It's just like lots of times people, it's funny that people learn driving from YouTube or something. Well, it's the real stuff. You go into a car and drive it. Okay, that's what MMC is all about. And that's where the world is going through, right? We don't want PowerPoint presentation or something. We want to see the system. So and see what really happens. So it's really helping, and it's changing every day. That's why you have so many courses in MNC, because things changes, technology changes, and there is new courses, there's new experts coming in, and you need to catch up. So MNC is I think the best place for SAP training and learning. So learn, apply, and grow. That's the mantra I can tell you. Then you have to practice the knowledge at work in an MNC system. Okay, this is very important. Lots of times you see your YouTube channel and you go through things. You have to practice. I'm sorry, it's like mathematics. The more you practice, the more you learn. So you have to go to the system. There are changes and there are things that has happened. So unless you have a look and feel of the system, unless you click it and enter it, so I will anyone who wants to learn SAP, get the rental system of MNC. And the good thing about MNC is the system is always up. It has all the turnaround time is very good, related with authorization and all those things. And if you are stuck on something, you have people like us who can really help you, so that if you're stuck on something and you can get help from us. So that really helps. Another thing is, and then you go take time to always step up to date. Don't let yourself stagnate. This is also very important, because lots of times we use the word procrastinate. Oh, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it today, or something. At the end of the day, sometimes I have a friend and he says, oh, I am on strike. And I say, I don't prefer strike when I am the one who is only participating, because I have to do the work anyway. So procrastinating will not help. So there is no tomorrow. Just do it today. Plan your thing. Don't try to learn everything. Don't be a jack of all trades, because even if you know everything and you put in your resume, as an interviewer, I will say he's a fake resume. He cannot know everything. Though it's possible, but I will say he doesn't know. He cannot learn SDMM, WMHR. No, not possible, because it takes probably a lifetime to know 20% of one particular module. So everyone wants experts. They don't want jack of all trades. So that's where you want to be, right? So that's why picking up a module and spending time on it and improving it is really important.
And we have a question coming in from an attendee named Liberty, and they are asking, what is your advice on being techno-functional?
That's a good thing. People say, oh, I'm techno-functional. Truly speaking, techno-functional is very hard to come by, because most of the companies, they will not allow you to have authorization to create an ABAP program as well as do a configuration request. So I think techno-functional is something where you know the technical part and some configuration, but you may not have hands-on experience on a real project. But lots of times I am a technical person, but I know a little bit of functional. So lots of times I have come into experience where they really say that I'm functional. They don't know the functional configuration. So I can help them. Hey, you do the configuration. I can tell you how to do the configuration, but I will not be really doing a techno-functional thing. So that's sometimes lots of people say, oh, I'm a techno-functional. It's very hard to, you cannot practice it, because that's a soft issue, really, truly speaking. So, yeah.
Okay, good to know. And it looks like we are seeing a different screen now. We aren't seeing your presentation any longer. There we go. Now we see it again.
Okay. Yeah. So this is how we grow. And the next the coupons. So I have created the coupons for all my courses. Okay.
Oh, my apologies, Arghadip. I thought that was a different.
Yeah.
Different piece. My apologies.
It's not, so these are some of my courses. I have put the 13% discount on all these. So it's good till 2020. And if you want to give a try, or if you want to, I don't know, MMC have probably more than 1,000 courses, right? So if you want to sign up for the yearly membership, which is really great, and if your company is is sponsoring, it's great, and I think they have offer going on now, right? Like Claire, I think some offer is still going on for the Christmas time. So
yes,
yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, you can jump on the website and you'll get a cute pop-up. It shows the discount with a Christmas dog, and you can always jump on our chat as well and ask about those discounts. Yeah, but yes, this is a very good time.
I mean, truly speaking, if you go to an SAP course, okay, with all due respect to SAP training, you spend $5,000, okay, and truly speaking, what you get is a probably 2,000 page document, and you get your certification. But that doesn't help you to get a job or to clear an interview. You take a course, you take a yearly membership of $1,000 or $1,200, whatever is the price here now. You will be using that. That will help you to, again, you have to spend time, MNC is not going to give you a job. You have to spend time, learn it, but that will help you to clear the interview and help you do the work in the real world. And you just spend $1,000 and you know everything, whatever you want to know in SAP. So the choice is yours. It's something that lots of times you say, people come to me and say, oh, I have spent a lot of money in colleges and all things. I say, yeah, you spend a lot of colleges. Well, you got the degree, but that's not going to help you to get a job. If you notice, nowadays, like big companies like Google and Apple, they're taking the minimum qualification out because it doesn't help. It doesn't help me to learn calculus and when I'm doing SAP, because so those are the things. So you might want to spend, and I have I have some students who work, who ask help from me. They have started learning SAP in their engineering course, just out of the box. They spend money, they're learning, and they are working before even graduating from their engineering courses, and they're doing real work. So they're making money, they're learning the stuff, and once they have the engineering cert, they didn't get denied because they are not an engineer or a graduate. If you learn nowadays, you can make a living from YouTube and all those things. There's no minimum qualification, so you can start working on this, from your high school or something, So nothing is stopping you. I'm sorry. In Germany, they teach SAP in the school level, so why not?
Yeah, not surprising in Germany. Interesting. Yeah. And when did you start working with SAP? Right after college?
Yes, I started SAP right after college. Actually, my sister used to work in IBM, and she introduced me to SAP. My sister is also a MMC instructor, Arghadip Kar. Yeah. So she introduced me to joining IBM and all those things. So she helped me a lot. So I learned from her a lot, and I learned a lot from my dad and mom, because my dad and mom used to explain the different functionalities of different processes. If simple thing about SAP is, if you observe what is happening in your current family, or how you are buying, or if you go for shopping, that's SD and purchase order there. Purchasing and SD is there in that module. There's no rocket science SAP is doing. So it's just using that thing. So those are the things that you have to understand. So these are the coupons. So it's there. So please go ahead, and if you like it, buy it. Or I will prefer, if I was, take a yearly subscription if you have the money, or not. You can take this whichever you want. And that's it. After this questions.
I'm still stuck on your anecdote about them having massages offered for
Oh,
SAP
yeah,
consultants. That's so funny. I agree with Leslie. I did not realize it was so exciting. It was very good.
Yeah.
Fun to hear those stories.
Yeah, I mean, there is massages, there's food, there is you can think of anything and everything, you know. It's always fun to be in a go live situation. Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool. Well,
yeah.
If anyone has some last questions, anything about Arghadip specific modules, workflow, VIM, ABAP, do you have any questions or just about his experience? I'm glad that we're getting some insight on jobs and going into the workforce. I know that is very important to a lot of MMC users. And we actually, you know what? We just had 2 questions coming in, which is great. So we have Prajit is asking how changing the data control parameters for data transfer in SBIW impacts the data loads in BW.
Oh, truly speaking, I really don't know on this. So this is out of my radar. But
okay.
We'll keep this question and I can probably forward it to someone who can really answer this question. Sorry about
that. Thank you. No, that's okay. Like you said, it's good to be specialized, not know everything.
Yeah.
Okay, great. And then Leslie commented, which I completely agree with her. She said, I love that you break down to the basics of how life applies to SAP. It takes out the mystery of SAP.
Yeah.
Very true. Even your grocery shopping anecdote.
Yeah, it's grocery shopping, and I still remember how you understand the procurement process is very simple. I remember it's like since I come from an Indian family and it's different. There, the parents is very important. So I remember I used to say, Mom, I want, suppose nowadays, if I was born now, I want a PlayStation, and my mom say, you need to be in the top 5 in this class. So what happens? Okay, top 5. Okay, I made it to the top 5, and there's a budget of like suppose $300 that is approved. Guess what? I go to the shop, it's $400. So what is now happening is there's a purchase requisition that was approved for $300. Now, since I went there, when I'm trying to do the purchase order, there is a block because now it's $400. Now, what to do? Someone needs to fund me money. So I asked my uncle, can you give me some more money or something? Or I asked Mom, okay, probably I will not be in the top 5. I'll be in the top 2 next time. So there is approval required. That's the PO approval that is happening. So all the things, that is what happens in SAP, nothing more. So there's a price change, there's quantity block, quality block, then you have returns, right? You buy things from Amazon, you don't like it, you return. That's again SAP, nothing more. So that's real life.
I love that.
Yeah.
Wonderful. All right. And our next question, I think a lot of us are curious about, will ABAP stay the same in the next 5 years?
Well, ABAP will be staying the same in the next 5 years. Yeah, it will improve a lot. If you know in S4HANA or even ECC, it has improved a lot. You have things where you have to be, it would be less coding, less typing, and it's more, inline declaration and new features, CDS views and all those things. It's going to be easier. And again, you have to learn, but the basic of ABAP will be there. So if you remember, SAP started with Java, WebDim for Java and all those things. SAP came to know that this is not going to this becoming more complex. It's not helping them. And what they did is they moved everything into ABAP. Okay. So ABAP will be there. And as long as SAP is there, ABAP will be there. And truly speaking, to unwind SAP from moving to another technology, it will take years. It will take like 20, 30 years before SAP goes down, as far as I can imagine, because imagine 85% of the companies uses SAP and they are now slowly moving to another technology. In order to move from SAP to another technology, it takes a 1 to 2 year project. So imagine how long it will take.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, that's very interesting insight. And actually, it looks like your sister has a question. So she said, do you think the career path of SAP consultants should proceed to project management?
I think project management, that's the place where, most of the consultants are pushed to. So you become a project manager someday. But people who really wants to love the technology, you can stick around. I remember when I used to work in IBM, the more you have knowledge, the more you will get into Excel world, which I don't like. So, managing people and all those things, that is not, that's a different type of fun, but I like fun with systems, Not that I'm not a person, managing person, but I don't like people where there will be lots of consultants who will give you saying, oh, this takes so many days, but actually it takes 2 hours to do. So I don't want to get into that. So, yeah.
Great. Well, thank you. And thank you, Debjani. It's fun to have another CAR family member and an MMC instructor on the Q&A. Debjani says thank you. Okay, great. Well, I have a question as well. We have about 5 or 6 minutes left, everyone. So live stream if you're on Facebook, YouTube, on our webinar. If you have any questions, please go ahead and submit them now. And I'm curious if you have any upcoming courses coming out for micromanagement.
Oh, yeah. So I have some upcoming courses that I have created. I think one is related with Fiori, my inbox. I think I need to work on the audio a bit. There was some problem with my system, and there's a new course on process mining. That's a new thing that everyone should be doing at some point, especially for clients who are moving from ECC to S/4HANA. That's called the digital transformation tool, and that's like you probably heard about new things like RPA, which is like the bots, robotic process automation. So before you do robotic process automation, you need to do process mining. So I have a course on that. That's really fun, and you will learn lots of new stuff. And I'm also always thinking about new courses. I'm learning new stuff and new technology, and the ease of using SAP. Whenever I find something new, I just take up PowerPoint and I talk with Leslie. Leslie blesses the PowerPoint, and then I'm on board for a new course.
Yeah. There's a plug for Leslie as well. I know she's in here. Leslie's the best. So with your 16 courses, it is truly something to be proud of.
Yeah.
All right. Looks like we have 2 more. So that will probably take us over into the hour. But if you have any more questions, submit them. If we can't get to them, we can look at them after. So we have a question coming in saying, is VIM standard in HANA, or will it take a lot of customizing?
So vendor invoice management, that's a good question. So first of time, vendor invoice management is like a module like Vistex or Ariba, where you need to put an add-on in it. Okay, so it sits in SAP, and again, it depends upon the person who really knows VIM. If the person doesn't know VIM, it will take a lot of customization. If the person knows VIM, it will take less customization. So truly speaking, VIM is really still a niche skill. Very few people really knows it, and I think I have 3 courses here that really helps, and only it's something that OpenText really acquires it, and it's a wonderful thing. And again, it depends upon the skill level of the consultant, whether it's you need more customization or not. Just like SAP, you have a great consultant who really knows. You don't need to create 40% of the custom report that you have built, because that consultant know how to tweak SAP. So it depends.
Yeah. Okay, good answer, good question, thank you. And we have one last question for now. I'll let you know if any more come in. Why does one client use different source systems? Can we just use one source system?
Different source system means like you have different means I need more clarification on that question.
More
what
info,
is source
yeah,
system?
no problem.
Yeah.
Let's see. They said different ECC systems.
Okay, different ECC system means, yeah, you have an ECC system that you are using, means you have different integration with another system or something like that, or you are using an Oracle database or something like that.
Okay, great. Yeah, and if they produce, if you need any more clarification on that, go ahead and write that in.
Yeah.
Let's see. They said either Oracle or SQLDB.
Okay, so this is more a basic question. Again, I don't have the expertise to it, so I will probably defer this question to the basic expertise in MMC. Mm-hmm. And if there's no one, I can send someone. I can find someone, and they can answer this question.
Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Yeah, I'll send. Mm-hmm. So those both are from Pradeep, so I will send those over, and we can take a look at them. Yeah. They said thank you. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Well, thank you, Arghadip. I love that you, as Leslie said as well, you humanize SAP. So outside of the technical side or looking for employment, which are all, of course, extremely important, it's nice to hear kind of the day-to-day life and hear some anecdotes. So thank you very much for your time.
Yeah. And there are lots of, there's lots of free weblogs from MMC that you all can use. I love the tool that you can find message numbers from outside SAP. So those things you can use, and lots of things. Again, if you need to learn SAP, you need to get a system, practice on it, and get the correct content, because there are lots of contents that are not really good. And don't go for the PowerPoint presentations and all those things, which really doesn't have. I will prefer what is happening in the system rather than spending time what is in the PowerPoint and really doesn't reflect what is really in the system. Okay, that's the greatest thing about MMC, is it's real stuff. So it's really good.
Thomas calls those death by PowerPoint.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's you did a great job, and yeah, I agree. Hands-on training, not theoretical, is imperative. So we have a final question coming in from YouTube. I think it's a good question to end on a high note. So Lewis said that they are just about to start their first SAP job as an SAP business analyst. What would be your best advice?
Well, SAP business analyst is, first of all, you will be learning new stuff, but always try to, when you're learning new stuff, ask yourself why I'm doing it. Because when you ask the question why, then you will learn SAP more from the human side than like a robot. Okay, ask yourself and try, like, if you get a solution one, try to find another solution that can be there. No one is God in SAP. There is, as I said, there's multiple solutions. So if you have multiple answers to a particular question, that makes you more flexible going forward in the long run, rather than you only know one answer to a particular question.
Oh, I love that. Well, and congratulations, Lewis, on that role. And thank you, Arghadip. This was wonderful, and we are very lucky to have you as an instructor.
Thank you. Pleasure is mine.
Of course. And for everyone watching, this was streamed on our YouTube channel. So you can go back if you want to rewatch or listen to any of Arghadip's stories or advice again. It will be there. So wonderful. Well, happy holidays, Arghadip, and thank you.
Yeah, you too.
And we will
you too.
chat more.